Hello, Chris Chaos here, and I want to discuss with you publicly about an incident that happened last night. I posted a comment on the Infowars.com website on a particular article entitled Glenn Beck's A Libertarian Now, and this comment was deleted. I'm guessing it was possibly due to the fact that it was probably not so much topic related, so therefore that's the reason I removed it. But I ended up posting two comments, and I also commented on another comment that was not related to the article, and both of those still are up. This article was written by Kurt Nemo on September 20th of 2009, and the article is basically blasting Glenn Beck's apology to libertarians, to summarize it into a single note. But what I really wanted to discuss is why my comment was removed. Now, anyone who hasn't seen this article is welcome to see it, but I don't, and I know this comes as a shock, but I try to avoid getting myself involved in the squabbles within the truth movement. The only time that I do get involved in such is when I feel that people are at risk, and I will react to that. And hopefully they'll make their own decisions and see it for themselves. At least they've been warned. But this individual went by the name of Freedom Writer, posted a comment, and it goes as such. This is kind of like Braveheart. Alex equals Braveheart. Glenn equals Robert the Bruce. Robert the Bruce. Now, I know you've sacrificed much, but fighting these odds looks like rage, not courage. William Wallace. It's well beyond rage. Help me. In the name of Christ, help yourselves. If we join, we can win. If we win, we will then, then we will have what none of us have ever had before, a country of our own. GB leads us astray. Robert the Bruce. I have nothing. Men fight for me because if they do not, I throw them off my land and I starve their wives and children. Those who bled the ground red at Falkirk fought for William Wallace. He fights for something that I never had, and I took that from him when I betrayed him. I saw it in his face on the battlefield, and it's tearing me apart. Now, I posted a comment concerning this, and I would like to read that to you now. This is the comment that was deleted. And I wrote, "The Freedom Writer. That's an excellent job quoting from a movie." And I put in parentheses, "Here comes that constructive criticism that you're not going to like. It's too bad that you wasted your memorization skills on a syndication of truth created from a council of liars, Hollywood. I would recommend spending your idle time in a more constructive fashion, studying the lectures of scholars and quoting from them, rather than absorbing the fiction of liars, my friend. And I say this with the utmost respect. You see, when people start utilizing fiction as a means to convey reality, it is often the product of what is called a, quote, hyper-reality. In lay terms, it is where the line between fantasy and reality blur mentally. The reason for this is often not because of overexposure to fantasy, i.e., movies, for example, but because of the subjective formatting in which the media curtails. It has been labeled brainwashing, quote unquote, but I tell you that it's an improper definition. Brainwashing, quote unquote, typically involves the removal of one thought or cleansing of thought for the replacement of a programmed one. No, the proper term for this is psychological manipulation, aka brain conditioning, quote unquote, which in turn leads to the same results as brainwashing. I understand that a lot of people do it, use popular media as an analogy or metaphor, but that's exactly how it works. Please understand that I am singling you out. However, it is not for the stereotypical reasons. I don't get a cheap thrill out of criticizing people, or do I wish to distill drama. I am doing it because I am concerned about people like yourself, and because of people like yourself is the reason why I have invested a lot of research into this topic and producing a documentary on it. One I hope you personally will get a chance to watch. And I also put a little side quote here. It will be a video, of course, because while your exposure has not yet succumbed you to an unwillingness to read, others, unfortunately, will barely listen to anything less than a format of which they can understand. Video. The reason it is so common, my friend, can be summarized into one simple fact: mass media conditioning and propaganda. I could say that people don't know just how far the quote-unquote rabbit hole goes, but I know better, because I won't dare attempt to use the effects of movie/media conditioning has had on you as a means to manipulate you. So instead, I will just say, you just don't know how far it goes. So the next time, I hope you will also reconsider using media conditioning as a means to convey your message, one that I hope that you will choose well. Like alcoholism, it is a sickness that cannot be treated until we realize that it is there. And I put in parentheses, psst, we are all there. Peace. Chris Chaos. That was the message that was deleted from this article in regards to the Freedom Writer's explicit usage of movie quotations as a metaphor to the situation. And I was trying to get this individual to understand that that's a sign of hyper-reality, and that he should consider reducing his exposure to the media to help regain consciousness of what is real and what is not. You cannot convey reality as a means of fiction. It's completely false. It just doesn't work. It's either real or it isn't. And anytime you distort what is real, it thus becomes fiction. It's just quite that simple. So, to everyone who's listening, please avoid this. Please avoid allowing yourself to do so. You are only conveying fiction in the process. Not to mention, you are also using a sickness to manipulate people into your opinions and ideas. I am against this, solely against this. Now, I made another comment, and I would like to say that it's still here. It was the first one, which is me replying. The one I replied to was from 2010 Freedom. Why is everyone being called, quote unquote, conspiracy nuts? The laws of God/creation say we should have free will to believe in whatever suits us. Let us not use these ignorant terms, and let us embrace the diversity of thought and direction. I am sure that most of society wants us as programmable as robots, but us, the minority, will fight to live another free day. Let us embrace the differences that others choose to dread and discredit. Bold statements are bold judgments, and let us end the time of useless, misleading judgment upon our fellow men/women, for we all are one. Godspeed to all. That was so beautiful. I could not help but to comment. And my comment simply read, Bravo 2010 Freedom. Unfortunately, that is the most intelligent, unbiased, and truthful thing that I've heard all day. Thank you very much for making my day. Now, these comments here, which were not related to the topic, were simply left, and for good reason. They were great comments. At least the first one, not mine. However, my desire to try to help an individual who obviously has a diluted sense of reality was removed. Maybe they thought it was an advertisement, but clearly it wasn't. I simply wanted to get a message conveyed, and unfortunately it hasn't. I don't believe it has been conveyed in the fullness of which it deserves. I understand a lot of people know that there is such a thing as brainwashing and brain conditioning. They know it is present within their media, but I don't think anyone knows just how far it goes. From the research that I have invested forward into this, it is very mind-numbing to me, and has been a very difficult process on how to organize everything into a very limited piece. I don't wish to create a 8-hour video or 6-hour, 4, or even 2. I'd like to keep it within an hour if possible. However, I don't know if that is going to be possible. So please comment below. Would like to know how your feelings are on this and why they decided to remove my first comment concerning the health and well-being of this individual who is blatantly confusing reality with fantasy. And I'd like to know how you feel on the subject, and I'd like to discuss it with you guys. So please comment. Try to keep it clean and nice and respectful. There's no reason to start a Jerry Springer session on YouTube, as it often turns into, so please refrain from that. This isn't fantasy. This isn't daytime drama television. So let's be respectful of others so we can respect ourselves in the process. God bless you all. Peace. Chris Chaos is out.